up, everyone? We're gonna go through 70 kilograms today at the US Open. JD, what do you think about this bracket?
This is probably my favorite bracket of the whole tournament because with the retirement of James Green, this is the first step to taking over as the world team rep. It'll be our first world team rep in, I don't even know how many years because James Green
2015.
has run it.
Since 2015.
It's been a long time, almost a decade. This is the first step. These guys are fighting for the #1 seed at World Team Trials.
Yeah, so we set the bracket here. We're not really sure how it's going to look. I think the top 4 seeds, Pantalo, Oliver, Berger, and Ashnolt. But after that, we could see a variety of guys kind of come in here. But we set what I think might look like the top 8 seeds. We're going to go through it, make our picks. JD, you want to start us off there with Pantalo and Austin Gomez?
Yeah, before we get into it, there are a couple other guys that could come in, like Sammy Sasso, possibly fight for that 8th place spot. Just want to give a couple more shout-outs to guys
Will
like
Lewan,
Will Lewan, All-Americans there that could be in. But we've got an All-American matchup, and Alec Pantalo versus Austin Gomez here.
These guys in the middle here.
And both of these guys not qualified for World Team Trials yet. So that's also important to note. Gomez coming off a good season, a good comeback season, but I see this as Pantalo's match to lose. He is shown to be a factor on the senior level.
Yeah, no, I agree with you for sure. It will be fun to watch Austin Gomez, kind of as always. He's got some good stuff in his game for freestyle. But I think if you think about this matchup, Pantalo closed his career out at 157. And Gomez started his college career at 133, so it's kind of like, man, you wouldn't never expected to see these guys wrestle a few years back. But should be, if they do meet, could be a really fun match. But I think Pantalo is just a little too seasoned, positionally with his re-attacks, and even with his size and his strength, might be a little bit too much for Gomez to handle there. So yeah, I'm going Pantalo as well. All right, you want to bring us down to that 4-5 position?
Let's move on to Anthony Ashnall and Bryce Andonian. Ashnolt, national champion for Rutgers a couple of years back, now wrestling in Seniorville. Andonian coming off a 3rd place finish at NCAAs, which means he is qualified for World Team Trials, which also means maybe we don't see him wrestle on the backside because he doesn't necessarily need to qualify, but maybe he will. I hope he does. He's always fun to watch wrestle, kind of similar to Austin Gomez. Always good for a big move. I think Ashnall probably just a little too savvy, a little bit too sound positionally to kind of get mixed up in that game. But hey, he's able to do it to a lot of the best guys.
Here's the thing. Andonian, he made the junior world team last year and then wrestled his way to a bronze medal at the junior world championships.
People forget.
So not us, we don't forget. and so he's a guy in freestyle. He's every bit as good in freestyle as he is in folk style, maybe even better. So I'm really interested to see how Andonian does. I remember talking to James Green. Green was saying, hey, this guy, watch out for Andonian. They have trained together over the last few years. So we mentioned,
is James Green ducking Bryce Andonian?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna pick Andonian. He's gonna be.
I don't hate it.
He's gonna be my pick if these two meet. I think he's gonna make a run.
Absolutely a fun pick.
Yep. All right, bringing us up top to the potential 2-7 matchup here. We got Jo up at 70 after going at 65 for the Olympics last year, and then Brock Mller. He finished 2nd at U23 trials, but then Jacori Teamer didn't go. So Mller actually made the U23 world team last year, wrestled out at Worlds in November, took a redshirt year, wrestled up at 57. Now he's kind of, coming down a little bit for 70. Oliver, heavy favorite here, right?
Yeah, of all the matchups we've got on the board, I think this is the heaviest favorite in Oliver. I mean, we know what Oliver is going to do. He's going to come in. He's going to make the semis probably at least. It's going to be hard to pick against him anywhere before the semis, no matter who comes out of that spot up there.
Yeah, yep, totally with you there. I don't think we got to spend too much time on this matchup, but I think Oliver's huge favorite. Mller not qualified yet for World Team Trials.
Will be good to see Mller back on the mat though, wrestling for the Tiger style.
All right, Jacori Teamer. Tyler Berger. Ja'Cory Teamer, cadet world bronze medalist back, I think, in 2017. He made, like I said, made the U23 world team last year, didn't wrestle. And then Tyler Berger's a guy who's, I mean, he's looked really good over the last few years, kind of getting progressively better year over year. We saw him win the Bill Farrell over Ashnolt last month. What do you think about this matchup? This is kind of an intriguing matchup, in my opinion.
It is a little bit. I think it's going to be fairly low scoring, probably like a 2 takedown match, maybe a 1 takedown match, and then the other guy, you know, is going for a takedown late, maybe give something up. Something kind of like that. I don't see either guy pulling too far away. And I've been beating the Tyler Berger doesn't get enough respect drum for the past couple of years. Like you said, he's continued to get better. Now training at Stanford, I think it's been a good move for him. I think he gets it done. But if you tell me Ja'Cory blasts him on a double and hits a really quick re-attack on him, I'm not shocked either.
Yeah. This is a match that I could see kind of going very, depending on how the match plays out, will play a big part into, I think, who wins this match. If Ja'Cory gets up, builds a lead early, I think he's in a really good spot kind of playing defense. But if Berger gets out to the lead, I think Ja'Cory will have a hard time, working his way back, generating, some of his own offense, maybe as we've seen in the past. But Ja'Cory's a guy, he can kind of go big, score in bunches, but I'm going with kind of the seasoned vet in Berger in this matchup. All right, semifinals. I picked Pantalo, Andonian. You got Pantalo, Ashnolt. Take me through how you see your potential semi going, JD.
Yeah, we've seen Pantalo Ashnolt before. I think it actually might be almost a little more interesting if it's Andonian and Pantalo. Andonian Gomez run it back again for a third time. They did it twice in days. Maybe on the backside. I don't see it happening in the semifinals, but Pantalo to the finals, to me, a fairly easy call. We've seen him in Ashnolt before. He's just shown to be just one step kind of above.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think even for, if it's somebody like Andonian, I think that's a really tough matchup for Andonian in that match. And like you said, we saw Pantalo and Ashnolt back at the 8-man tournament for third and fourth. And so I think regardless of who it is, I think Pantalo is kind of the favorite there to make the finals. And then on the other side, we got Berger and Jo. I think this matchup will really tell us where Jordan Oliver is at and if he's ready to make that world team, because in my opinion, kind of saw a bit of a drop off after he moved up from 65 last year. I mean, he did beat Zane Rutherford, but Pantalo beat him last month, which we'll talk about in a second. But I think this matchup really tell us where Jo is at.
Absolutely, and it's, I don't want to maybe put words in Jo's mouth, but he is getting up there in age, and it's, are we seeing, has he plateaued or slightly declined? And I don't think that's the case. I think we see a good version of Jo. If Jo comes out and chooses to get to his offense, fire off attacks at a decent clip, I think he beats Berger. But you know what? I was blowing the Berger horn. I say Jo wrestles a little too conservative.
All right.
Berger gets him.
All right. I like the pick. I think it's a great pick. Maybe if you wouldn't have made it, I would have made it myself. But I'm gonna stick with Jo. I think he's got a little bit too many ways to score, a little bit, too many tricks up his sleeve for Berger. But I look at this match, man, I could see it being 1 or 2 point match, kind of all the way to the end. I think Berger is right there. So I'm gonna pick Jo. So we'll put both of these guys. We'll leave them both here.
Absolutely not an angry man if Jo comes out looking like a great version of Jo. Proves me wrong.
Yeah. All right. So then finals, we both picked Pantalo coming out of that side. I picked Jo. You got Berger. How do we feel here? Pantalo's 2-0 against Oliver. Going back a couple years. Actually, Berger's beaten Pantalo within the last year, 13, 14 months. What do you think here?
I think both these guys are capable of beating Pantalo, but if Pantalo is wrestling his best, he is going to win more times than he is going to lose. to these guys. For those reasons, Pantalo is my pick to win the US Open at 70 kilograms.
Yep. This is not too much of a war because I'm gonna agree with you here, and I think when you look at the whole bracket, kind of go back a year, even to how Pantalo was wrestling last year, right before he got hurt at the World Team Trials. He looked to be the guy to maybe dethrone James Green, with how he was wrestling, and then with how he looked last month against Jordan Oliver. Man, he just looked like he's kind of widened the gap a little bit. So, with that said, I think you wrestle either one of these matches 10 times and Pantalo comes out on top 7 or 8 out of those 10. So my pick also, Pantalo. I think he's going to be probably the favorite to make the world team, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this bracket unfold and then the whole 70 kilogram story kind of play out.
That's right. Even the backside will be interesting. As I said, some of these guys have not qualified yet for the World Team Trials. We'll have to wrestle back.
Yeah, it's only the top 7 from this tournament qualify for World Team Trials. This action's all going to go down at the US Open, April 27th through May 1st. Don't miss it.